Hello students, welcome to Intuition Education. So today I'll be talking about the 2D geometrical figures. So 2D geometrical figures is completely a mathematical thing, but we need it in some physical cases. So 2D geometrical figures means these things. But the first one is not 2D, which is an 1D geometrical figure, and rest of the options are completely 2D. So you can see in the second thing, that is conic section. So in conic section there are 4 types of figures that can be obtained. The first one is circle, the second one is ellipse, the third one is parabola, and the fourth one is hyperbola. So in the diagram you can see on the right side, the first figure shows of an ellipse. So an ellipse can be obtained from a conic by cutting in that sense. If you cut the conic in that sense, you will obtain an ellipse. If you cut the conic in horizontal sense, you will obtain a circle. If you cut the conic in completely vertical sense, then you will obtain a hyperbola. And if you cut the conic in some tilted manner, that is like this, so you will obtain a parabola. So these are the types which we'll be talking of. So now let us see the uses of these geometrical figures in physics. So uses are basically to study the motion of objects, nature of any quantity with respect to the other, that is, it can be any quantity, any physical quantity with respect to any other physical quantity, and the trajectory of any body or any object. And there are so many uses. Now let us talk about the first thing, which is not 2D, which is 1D construction, and this is straight line. So in generally, the straight line has an equation y equals to mx plus c, where the m is the slope and c is the intercept in y-axis. So this is the thing. So that part of the straight line we already discussed in our previous video, you can check. So these are the features of a straight line. So let us see some examples. The first one I have given here an example like this. So here you can see I have drawn a straight line which has an equation y equals to 3x minus 9. So here you can see that the slope is 3, that is positive value, and c equals to minus 9, which is a negative value. So you can see that the straight line cuts the y-axis at some negative point, which is y equal to 9, minus 9, and it has a slope. If this is theta, then tan theta will be the slope, and as you can see, the angle of the straight line with the x-axis is acute angle, that is less than 90 degree, So the value of tan theta will be positive, so that m equal to 3 is justified. Now let us see another example. So this is similar to the previous one. Here I have drawn a straight line which has an equation 3x plus 9. So the slope is same as the previous one, but the intercept you can see which is in the positive y-axis, and this is at y equals to plus 9. So the slope is 3 and intercept is 9. So this is very easy to understand. Let us move to the next diagram, which is circle. What is circle? Circle is a moving point that makes a locus and moves around a fixed point, keeping a fixed distance. So that is, if I select a point here and some other point moves around this fixed point, keeping the distance same, so it will provide me a circle. So this is what the circle is. Now the equation of the circle in general, or any conic section, has a general equation like this: ax square plus 2h xy plus bx square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c equals to 0. So this is the most general equation for any conic section, but we will not go into the detail. We'll talk only the simplest form of the equation. So the simplest form of equation for a circle, so this is x minus a whole square plus y minus b whole square equals to some r square, where the a comma b is a coordinate of center, the coordinate of the center of the circle, and the r is simply the radius of the circle. So this is what the equation for a circle is. Now let us see some examples. The first one is this. I have drawn a circle keeping the center at origin. You can see this is 0, 0 point, and the radius is 2. So we can have an equation like this, which is very simple. So here you can see that a comma b is 0, 0, and r equals to 2 units. So this is what a circle is. Let us check some other example. So I have drawn an circle here. As before, I have taken the radius to be of the magnitude 2, but I have shifted the origin to some other point. So here you can see that a comma b is 1, 2, and radius is 2 as before. So the equation of the circle is x minus 1 plus y minus 2 whole square equals to 2 square. So this one gives the equation for the circle. Now let us see the next diagram, and that is ellipse. So ellipse has an equation in that form: x minus a whole square by p square plus y minus b whole square by q square equal to 1. So here a comma b is, as before, it is the coordinate of the center of the ellipse, and if p is greater than q, then p equals to the semi major axis and q equals to semi minor axis. So please note that if p is greater, then p is semi major axis and q is semi minor axis, and if q is greater than p, then the reverse is true. That is, q will be the semi major axis and p will be the semi minor axis. So let us see an example. So here you can see that an ellipse is drawn keeping the center at origin. So here we have the expression like this, or equation like this: x square by p square plus y square by q square equals to 1. So here you can see that the center of the ellipse is at 0, 0. So we can have an expression like this. Here p is greater than q, I mean this is the semi major axis and this is q, the semi minor axis. Let us move to the next diagram. In the next diagram you can see the equation will not be changed. The equation will be as before: x square by p square plus y square by q square equals to 1, and as before I have taken the center is at the origin. But here you can see that the value of p is less than q. So here p is the semi minor axis and q is semi major axis. So this is p and this is q. So this is what an ellipse is. Now I have to tell you something special, that is, in general we know the equation for an ellipse is like this. Now if p equals to q, then let us say this is r. Then it will give an equation like this. So this is an equation for circle. So the specialization of any ellipse is a circle. Specialization means if the length of semi-major axis and semi-minor axis are same, then we will obtain a circle. You can see this video. We will better understand the nature of the ellipse and circle as well. Now let us come to the new figure, that is parabola. Now parabola in generally has an expression like a quadratic equation. So in general the quadratic equation is of the form y equals to x square plus bx plus c. So this is the simplest form of the equation of a parabola, or you can think of the equation like this: ay square plus by plus c. So this is what the equation for a parabola is. So these equations can be converted in the form like, let us erase this form, and we can rearrange this expression like this. So this is what the equation of a parabola is, where, and I have to generalize this, and here a comma b is the coordinate of vertex of the parabola, and f is the focal length. F is the focal length of the parabola. So this is the equation where the parabola is along x-axis. I'm sorry, this is the expression for a parabola which is in, this is the expression for a parabola along y-axis, maybe it positive or negative. So move to the next expression. Now, if x equals to ay square plus by plus c, then we can convert this expression in this form. Notice that I have done in the previous expression also. This b and this b are not same. I'm just writing it for some simplicity. So this is x minus a. So this is the expression for a parabola which is along x-axis, maybe it positive or negative. So in general, this is the expression for parabola along x-axis, and as we have done, this is the expression for a parabola along y-axis. Maybe it's positive in negative in direction. So we can write it as like this. So let us check the diagrams first. So here the example. The first one, you can see I have chosen the vertex is at origin for simplicity, so that the a comma b is 0 comma 0, so that we can have an expression y square equals to 4f x, where f is the focal length. Okay, so the focal length somewhere here, focal length somewhere here. So this is what this parabola represents. Let us move to the next diagram. This diagram shows that the parabola is along the negative x-axis, so that we can have an equation like this. Now, as before, I have taken the vertex is at 0 comma 0, that is at origin, so that we can have an expression or equation of the parabola like this, and this is along the negative x-axis. So you can similarly form the parabola in y directions as well. So let us check the nature of the parabola, and if we increase the f, then the parabola will be more thin, and if we decrease the focal length, then the parabola will be more flat. Let us check the video. Now come to the hyperbola. So that is the last thing in conic section. So the hyperbola has an equation almost similar to the ellipse, but there is something difference, and the difference is it will be minus. So this is the simplest equation for hyperbola. Here you can see the only difference of this equation from the ellipse is by this minus sign. So here a comma b is the coordinate of vertex, and p is the major axis, and q is the minor axis. P is the major axis and q is the minor axis if p is greater than q. If the opposite is true, that is, if q is greater than p, then the reverse is true. That is, q will be the major axis and p will be the minor axis. So the major axis has a name, that is transverse axis, and the minor axis has a name that is called the conjugate axis. Please note that the major axis is also known as transverse axis, and the minor axis is also known as the conjugate axis. So if p is greater than q, then the expression will be like this. Now if p is less than q, then the equation will be of the form y minus b whole square by p square minus x minus a whole square by q square equals to 1. So this is what the equation for hyperbola is. And there is another expression for hyperbola, that is x into y equals to some constant, let's say c. So that c can be positive or negative, so I'm writing it with the sign. So this is called the rectangular hyperbola. This is called the rectangular hyperbola, which we have faced in our previous days. If you can remember, you have studied the Boyle's law of nature from the chapter Nature of Gas. We'll find that the Boyle's law tells the pressure and volume changes like this. So this is the hyperbola, and this is rectangular hyperbola especially. So let us check the diagrams. So this one, where the value of P is greater than Q, that is the and the next diagram shows that the Q is greater than P. So the Q is here and P is here. P has a length shorter than the Q, and this is the rectangular hyperbola. I have taken the product to be positive so that it has come to the first quadrant and in the third quadrant. If I took them to be negative, then it will come here or here and here. It will come on second axis and fourth axis. So let us see the video for better understand. Now this is the sinusoidal waves. I've taken a simple equation y equals to a sine of px, where a is the amplitude and p is the phase factor, and the diagram or the wave nature will be like this, as shown in this figure. Now if I convert this sine to be cos, then it will just shifted. It will be just shifted. You can think that if I consider the positive x-axis, the wave or the curve starts from 0. But for the cos px, the curve starts from 2. So this is the only change, and there is nothing other changes. Now if I take collectively some more sine curves or more cos curves, or the mixture of sine and cos, I will obtain a diagram like this. Here I have taken only 3 curves. The first one is this, second one is this, third one is this. And you can see here the amplitude for all, that is here 2, 2 and 2. So amplitude for all the sine curves are same. I've taken for simplicity, and the A, B, and C are the phase factor respective to the curves. And if the phase factors changes continuously, then the resulting sine curve will be like this at some instant of x. And now I have just taking an example. Now I have just taking an example, like if y equals to, I have taken for simplicity that amplitude is 1, the sum of the sine curves, that is sine nx, where n goes from 1 to some value of m. Here I have taken that amplitude part equals to 1. So we can only write that y equals to sum over n equals to 1 to m sine of nx. And now I am varying the value of m. Let's check the video and it will be better understandable for you. So that's all. Hope you like this video. If you like this video, please press the like and subscribe our channel, and please share this video with your friends, and we'll come back with some new topic on the next video. Till then, goodbye, take care.